Hello and welcome to Extra Point. I'm Gabe McDonald. We've made it to week 3 of the shortened season, and we're starting to see some teams separate themselves as region title races start to take shape. And as always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Danielle DeTomo. Danielle, it's crazy how fast this season is moving.
I know. I'm just glad we had football this season. I was very worried about that. And things were getting a little heated up tonight at some games I was at. Always entertaining and interesting on Friday nights.
Well, now let's get down to business. And you already know we're going to kick off the action with our game of the week. It was a battle of heavyweights in Class 4A Region 6 between West Florence and Myrtle Beach. And let's head over to the Shaw. Plenty of hype coming into this one with the Knights joining the region this year to add some extra competition. There come those Seahawks ranked number 1 in Class 4A. The Seahawks got off to an early 10-point lead thanks to special teams, and then that offense would go to work. Here's Andrew Doss slicing and dicing his way through the defense. He had reservations for 6 and was right on time. Myrtle Beach up 17 in the first quarter. West Florence would answer and fast. Here comes Terry McKithen on the handoff here from George Derek Floyd. He takes it straight up the gut and is off to the races. He breaks off a huge chunk of real estate. Look at that run. Look at that young man go. He breaks off a lot of yardage to get West Florence in the red zone. And then a few plays later, they would cash in George Derek Floyd on the keeper, and he rumbles his way in for the tough score to put West Flo on the board, but they're still down 10 midway through the second quarter. Seahawks not sweating it at all. They drive back down the field. Here's UNC commit J.J. Jones with the reception on the out, and he puts on his best Michael Jordan impression. Jump man, jump man, jump man. That boy up to something. Heck of a play by that young man. He's going to make a lot of them in Chapel Hill next season. Hawks down in the red zone. They break out the heavy package, and that's Cam Ward with the tough run for the score. Myrtle Beach back up 17. They would lead by 10 at the half. In the second 24 minutes, that would belong to the Seahawks thanks to that defense. Ball comes out, and Kenderson Cardaci is Johnny on the spot. He takes it all the way back for the scoop and score from Myrtle Beach. But just wait, he is not done. Just seconds later, George Derek Floyd gets in trouble. He rolls out trying to find for a man. And guess who is there for the pick? You guessed it, Mr. Cardaci, the transfer from New Jersey, with back-to-back defensive scores. I think we'll see these plays later again tonight during the show. Myrtle Beach goes up 44-14 late in the third, and that would be all she wrote. The Seahawks improved to 3-0 on the year by a final of 51-14. Here's head coach Mickey Wilson and his defensive stud after the game.
The only thing going on in my head is my defense. They're killing it. I wouldn't have made that interception over there if it wasn't for my defensive end. That's all them.
That's huge. Anytime you get defensive turnover and score on top of it, it just makes it a little bit easier on offense. And he's a hard worker. He's worked extremely hard since he's been here, and just proud of him for getting in the end zone twice. That's very rare and unusual for a defensive guy to get in the end zone twice like that.
Heck of a game by those Myrtle Beach Seahawks. They improved to 3-0. Let's shift to Class 5A now. The Carolina Forest Panthers on the road taking on the Sumter Gamecocks. Those stands were packed as you saw. Panthers QB Kyle Watkins catches a low snap but gets it to running back Mo Belfield, who breaks through the defensive line for a healthy gain for the first down. Another low snap to Watkins on this one, but this time he looks to the air. Here it comes right here. Kyle Watkins, the dual threat quarterback, looks to the air, but it is picked off by Sumter. Not the best start for those Panthers. However, they would still be up 7-0 in the first. Sumter looks to answer. QB Hayden Vasquez looks to make a play. He's going deep, but guess who is here for the INT? That's Carolina Forest's Luke Janik, and the Panthers' Scott Saylor would take it in for the score after a few plays after that pick. But after a high-scoring back-and-forth matchup, eventually going into overtime, the Panthers would come up on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Unfortunately, their first loss of the year, it's 34-27, the final.
Looking out at Conway High School, the Tigers hosted the Socastee Braves, and the Braves are up 16-0. And Conway's Gene King coming up big on defense. Not today. Look at that big hit by King. Well, we're going to go to the fourth quarter now. Braves are going to extend their lead. The kick is going to be good by David Alderman. And Socastee will now lead 22-0. And Braves defense not letting Conway get anything done. Cade Bird gets the interception for the Braves. And Socastee is feeling it. They're really feeling the W now. And you got to look at this after that play. He gets a big chain on the sidelines tonight. I'm sure he's going to be taking that home with him, taking some pics with that. Well, Conway won't go scoreless this game. They finally get on the board. Rodney Huggins will run it in. But tonight was all Socastee. The Braves get the win 21-7.
And let's take you out to St. James, where the Sharks are looking to get their first win of the year against the top team in Class 1A, the Lamar Silver Foxes. Let's pick it up in the first. Here's St. James quarterback Joey McMenamin. He throws a nice spiral to Cam Tibbetts for the score. The Sharks go up 13-6. Don't look now. Sharks out to a hot start. But the very next possession, here come those Silver Foxes. Here's Cam Galloway. He throws a quick screen out to Derek Higgins, and that man does the rest. He takes it all the way down for a nice gain to the 1-yard line to put Lamar in business. And then 2 plays later, Galloway would hand it off right here to Pat Anderson, and he runs it in for the tough score. That would put Lamar back on the board. Lamar would actually try to go for 2 to tie up the game, but Anderson would be stopped just short of the goal line. St. James goes into halftime with a 1-point lead over the top team in Class 1A. Pretty nice start by them. First possession in the second half for the Sharks, and they would get off to a great start. Check out this run by Aaron Armstrong. He would not be denied the first down and more. That's some grown man strength right there. He's been in the weight room this summer. St. James now in the red zone. And a few plays later, here's McMenamin. He fakes the handoff to Armstrong, and he just does it himself. He gets in for 6. St. James adds to the lead, and they wouldn't let it go. They get win number 1 on the year, 20-12, the final.
All right, Class 4A, the Wilson Tigers celebrated homecoming tonight as they took on the North Myrtle Beach Chiefs in Florence. Well, early in the second, North Myrtle Beach up 7. Chiefs quarterback Cam Freeman's pass is deflected and intercepted by Wilson corner Almond Bowman. And North Myrtle Beach would get a stop, and on the next drive, Freeman would find his receiver Xavier Anderson for a 40-yard touchdown. Chiefs go up 14-0 in the second. Well, on North Myrtle Beach's next drive, they'd find the end zone again as Freeman would find his receiver Nick Moss for a score, and the Chiefs would take a 21-0 lead into the half. After halftime, Wilson's offense got going as quarterback Zayshawn Rice connected with Nyre Sanders, getting stopped just short of the goal line. Next play, Rice would score on a quarterback keeper and making it 21-7. But North Myrtle Beach would hold on from there. North Myrtle Beach 38 and Wilson 7.
And now let's update you on a pair of scores in Class 4A. We actually had some action up in Flowtown last night as the Bruins of South Florence took down Darlington in convincing fashion to give Drew Marlowe his first win as head coach of the Bruins. Final was 51-19. Also, Hartsville was in action on the road trying to get their first W of the year, and they got it done on the road, 30-13 the final over the Yellow Jackets of Fort Mill. Huge win for those guys. All right, the first half is in the books. We're going to take a quick timeout and be right back with our second half Extra Point as we run through classes 3 through 1A in just 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to Extra Point. Time for the second half, and we're going to kick it off in Class 3A as we had a huge Region 6 battle as Lake City went on the road to face Camden. Let's take you to the closing minutes of the second quarter. Here's Camden, Jafari Pearson. He finds a lane and gets in for the score right there in the second quarter just before half. The Camden Bulldogs would continue adding on to that lead. Here's Leroy Bracey Jr. He dives into the end zone, and the celebration is on. Just check this out right here. He gets in for the score right there to add to Camden's lead, rather. The ground game for the Bulldogs would open up the air attack. Pearson takes to the skies as he connects with a wide-open Anthony Lyles Jr., a 30-yard touchdown strike, and unfortunately, this would not be Lake City's night. They would lose 48-20.
Well, it was senior night at Aner tonight as they hosted Waccamaw. Aner looking real good to start this one off. Gerald runs it in for the touchdown, and I do have a feeling that's not all we'll be seeing from him tonight. Well, Blue Jackets go for the 2-point conversion, and they will get it. It's Noah Jones who will run it in, and just like that, Aner leads 16-0. Well, now Aner is back in the red zone, and I told you we'd be seeing him again. Gerald runs the ball in for another touchdown for Aner. Looking real good tonight, man. Well, Waccamaw needs something good to happen, and it will right before the half. Quarterback Denson Chrysler throws it to Greg Deemer, you see, and that's going to be a touchdown, Warriors. But this was Aner's night on their senior night, getting that win, 38-14.
And let's head out to Loris. The Lions taking on the Bulldogs of Georgetown, and we pick things up in the second half. Pep Jordan for Georgetown drops back and goes deep. Our camera guy loses the ball for a second, but there he is. Philip Frazier takes it to the house, and that would knock the ball game up at 7 apiece. Heck of a play by that man. Loris would respond. Bryce Faircloth to Jasir Sinkler, who's in for the touchdown. Loris would miss the PAT. So now we're going to head to the closing minutes of the third after that touchdown by Sinkler. Georgetown now down 6. Pep Jordan rolls out to the right and fires a cannon to Carter Sheridan, and he comes up with the amazing grab, setting up the Bulldogs in the red zone. But the Loras defense would step up big. Just check this out right here as Leontre Knox picks off Jordan in the end zone. His team and coaches fired up about that one. Huge win for Loras. They get the win. They are now 2-0 after going 1-9 last season.
Well, let's take you on the road again as the Marlboro County Bulldogs look to take a bit out of the Lakewood Gators. Lakewood quarterback Ben Hill Jr. threads the needle to Cameron Rodriguez, and he would burn his defender to move the chains. Well, next play, Hill feeds Teron Wilson, and he refuses to go down. He escapes a group of Bulldogs in the middle, bounces it to the outside, and heads home. Whoa there, touchdown Lakewood, and an amazing run, 13-0 Gators. But take a look at the final score. The Bulldogs would score 16 unanswered points. Big time comeback as Marlboro County takes a 16-13 win in overtime. What a game there. Well, now let's update you on some scores across Class 2A. Out in Andrews, the Yellow Jackets picked up a huge region win. They were all over the Jaguars of Kingstree, 41-8, the final out there. Meanwhile, tonight's game between Latta and Mullins was postponed. The matchup has been rescheduled to happen on October 30th.
And now let's drop down to Class 1A. Let's go out to Johnsonville, taking on Lakeview. Head coach Daryl King trying to keep his Wild Gators focused. We picked this one up late in the third. Lakeview up 12-8, and they would run wild in the second half as Michael McGinnis finds the end zone to make it 18-8 Lakeview. The Lakeview fans obviously pumped up. They're right now number 2 in Class 1A. Johnsonville would score to make it 18-14, but every time they cut the game, Lakeview would pull away. Running back Jacorius Ford finds the hole, and he is gone. No one catching him. He's flexing as Lakeview goes up 24-14. Johnsonville would continue to fight as Malik Shippey airs it out deep, and here's Javon Coles. He gets it in for the score. He puts them in scoring position, rather down 10. However, the drive would stall. The Wild Gators would hold on to win and stay perfect 3-0 in the season in Class 1A, 30-20, the final.
We talked about since day one we started. We knew that every week's like a playoff game. I mean, you win and you advance to the next one. And the way the region is this year, the way the games are this year, you've got to win. I mean, that's how you try to go about it. But, you know, we did good enough tonight to win the football game. But like I said, it's a big credit to Johnsonville and how they played.
Defense stepped up, offense